is up, my real estate friends? Joshua Smith here with today's Top Agent Interview, where I bring you strategies, systems, lead generation, tips, and more from top realtors and entrepreneurs that exist on the planet today. You hear me talk a lot about hustle muscle. If you're not willing to get your hustle muscle on, if you're not willing to step into GSD mode in this industry, you'll not be successful. Well, our guest today has some serious hustle muscle. She closes over 100 transactions per year by herself. No team, no assistants. I mean, this is absolutely insane. I know when I first got in the business as an individual agent, the highest I ever hit was 48 deals in a year. And I was working from 4 a.m. to midnight. I can't even fathom popping 100 deals a year all by myself. I mean, it's absolutely insane. In 2013, she closed 103 transactions, totaling 19 million plus in sales volume. And again, this is without a team, all flying solo. She was 30 under 30 finalist in 2011. This is actually how we met. We were both there the same year, met in Chicago, and she straight up dominates her city with almost 15% market share just in her town. So make sure you have removed all distractions. You make sure that you're listening, right? We talk about this a lot. There's no such thing as multitasking. Make sure that you're engaged. Take a shit ton of notes, as the information you're about to receive today doesn't exist anywhere else. So today I'm stoked and honored to have this amazing realtor, an amazing friend of mine, Angie VanEman, to the show. Thank you for being here, Angie. Stoked to have you.
Thank you, Josh. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we dive in, let's get a little background on your market. Tell us a little about your market, population, average price point, the city that you're in.
I am in Minnesota. I'm about an hour and a half south of the Twin Cities, so the capital. We have Vikings training camp here. We have university, Mankato State University, and then Glenn Taylor has Taylor Corp. He's one of the richest dudes, I think, in the United States, but probably the number one in Minnesota. So anyways, we're more of a college town. We are kind of growing. We're getting a Walmart soon, like a distribution center. We have a normal Walmart. But we're about 70,000 people population. There's Mankato, and then just across the river, I think that's a song, but there's North Mankato. So that's kind of my primary area. So yeah, I think it's about 70,000 there. Average market as of year to date, as of I think a couple days ago, was about 184 for purchase price in those two areas. Could break it down into all southern Minnesota, but I'm the type of realtor that if I can't tell you the best place to get a burger in a smaller town, I don't think I have any right trying to sell your house. So I don't venture outside of my tiny little bubble.
Yeah, no, I love it. Now, how many? So you got 65 to 70,000 people in the town. How many units are sold? I think before we talked, it was something around 750 home sales a year. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think so. Let me find what I sent you. I want to say about 758 maybe last year.
Yeah.
Sold.
Gosh, and that's crazy. And you did 103 of them. So again, like we talked about in the intro, I mean that's over 14 or about 14% of the market share that you have in that whole entire town, which is just unheard of. So that's amazing. So let's talk for a moment and jump into a little bit about what you did before you got in real estate. How did you get involved? What did you do before you became an agent? A little background on you.
My mom was a realtor. I joke. So some people ask, they want to know how old I am. It's the number one question people get. So they're like, how long have you been doing real estate? So I'll joke about 30 years. And people look at me like, wow. But I was going on listing appointments with my mom when I was little. I'd open the door and make a sassy comment about a house smelling stale or musty or something. And then my dad was a realtor as well, and he also was a developer and builder. So sometimes I sell, lot block, whatever, VanEman Subdivision 7. So it's always kind of fun to do that, properties he's built. So I was all around real estate basically my entire life. I graduated high school and went to college to get a degree in public relations, mass comm, and my mom had decided to leave a big franchise company and start her own. So she was basically like, you need to get your license if she's going to pay for college. So as a good 18-year-old, I decided to go get my license. And I basically did it just because she told me to, so I could open up houses and drop off packets, maybe show a house here or there. I really had no intention of ever making it my career. I thought I'd, be like Mad Men, working at an ad agency in the cities or somewhere else and doing all of that. And so once I graduated college, I got what I call my real job, where I did work at a marketing agency, and it was terrible. I don't have the personality to sit in a desk and be paid for an hourly wage, or I guess it was salary, from, X hour to X hour. And just the harder you work, doesn't matter if you do nothing or all a bunch, go over and do, your neighbor's work for them too. Like, you're still getting paid what your agreed upon contract price is, and that's not really conducive to basically my personality. So I had a job, got called in for a promotion, and quit on the spot because I just couldn't handle it anymore. Decided to sell everything I owned and moved to New York. And I thought I would do real work in marketing and advertising over in New York and like Manhattan. And then I realized what I'd be paid, and I would have been probably living in Harlem with 13 other people in a studio and possibly rap. So then I kind of was like, okay, well, now I'm here. I don't have a job. What do I have for skill sets? And I was like, well, I did some sales and real estate and in Minnesota. Like, how hard can it be? So I got my license in New York and kept my license in Minnesota, but did sales and leasing. I worked down in the financial district right on Wall Street. The stock exchange was actually my neighbor. So did sales and leasing there, did two higher end sales, but majority were leasing, and worked like a crazy person, which I'm kind of used to doing, but it was very different in New York as though there's not agency. In Minnesota, it's very, we're Minnesota nice. There's the agency relationships. You build a rapport. If you can't show a house at the certain time a buyer wants you to, they'll wait for you. New York was just kind of a rat race. Basically, you would chase after your phone. If you didn't have it in your hand, you get the phone call. You got clients by posting on Craigslist, and each ad you posted was $6.50. You had to make sure it was a really good one. It wasn't actually even the house or apartment that you were trying to sell. It was one that, or lease, it was one that just kind of looked like a building that you could put a 2-bedroom in. So very just kind of generic and almost bait and switch. And I sort of knew 2 people when I moved out there. I mean, I probably knew them as well as I know you. So to give you an idea. So moved out there, did that, did it for about a year and a half. I just got so worn out, and the people just weren't like my people back in Minnesota. So moved back to Minnesota, and I was kind of like, all right, well, let's try this real estate thing full time. So started doing it full time. That was during the time where they did that tax credit, where with our lower purchase price in some bigger markets, so really benefited a lot of buyers. At the time I was, I think, 25. So I got a lot of first-time buyers who wanted to work with me because I'm their peer, I'm their age, I understand it. I think people buying their first property want to feel kind of independent and do it, and nothing against the other agents, but for example, like my mother, she's 60. So they'd rather work with somebody that's more their age and get it than kind of somebody that's like their own motherly figure. So the first year I did 42 transactions. I'm going to say I think all of them actually were buyers. I didn't want to take on any sellers at all my first year because I didn't feel comfortable walking into someone's house and being like, oh, yep, I've sold 10 houses. They're all with buyers. But I think your house should be priced at this. It was just way too much pressure for me because that's people's biggest investment. So I just focused on buyers, doing that, getting a lot of time first-time buyers, and utilizing that tax credit, I think, helps some people come out of the woodwork that maybe couldn't to buy. So in a nutshell, that's how I kind of got going.
Yeah, no, I love it. So that was, so you moved back, if I'm looking at my notes here, if I'm correct, back in
2010.
2010.
Well, like November of 2009, but.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And
whatever.
So, I mean, you built this insane business in a matter of just a few years in Minnesota. And I know that's where you're from, but still, I mean, to go out there and do what you've done in such a short amount of time, where people can't even do that typically in a whole entire career. I know today your numbers, it looks like you're about 60% sellers. Looks like out of your 103 units, 57 were seller, 46% buyers. What are you doing today? Okay, so you did all buyers in the first year. At what point did you start going after sellers? Are you going after sellers, or was it just all these buyers eventually become sellers, and you just kept working that relationship. How did you get to the point where it was 100% buyer to now, and the reason I'm asking this, in this business, everybody talks about the name of the game being listings. So,
Yeah.
how did you go from 100% buyers to almost not completely reversing, but to having about 60% sellers now? Kind of walk us through that and how that took place.
I was, like I said, I was just really I mean, I probably put more pressure on myself than normal people do. So I was just so scared where it's like, I don't want to come in and be like, people are giving me their biggest investment and saying, here you go, Angie, give me the best return you can. And I didn't feel that I had been around and sold enough houses. So I was like, I'm straight up doing buyers. That's it. Any sellers that come around, I'm just going to refer them, and I'll go with and kind of, like give them to my mom and have her kind of mentor me and go on appointments with her and watch how it's done. I wanted to see it in action several times before I, went out and just started doing it myself. I just wasn't comfortable. So I did my first year, and I was like, wow, I did a lot better than I even kind of thought I would do. And I was like, I've been in enough houses. I've closed 42 transactions. We all know buyers look at more than just one house. So I've been in so many properties too, where we have a lot of different subdivisions in Mankato, but they're all kind of the similar. There's a lot of similar house styling. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I know the area enough. So I'm like, all right, I want to get into sellers, because I think if you control the listings, you control the market. I think that was where I needed to transition to. So I was like, all right, how do I get, I've been licensed for 5 years, but hadn't sold anything because I was in college in New York. So I was like, how do I get people to want to work with me and not be like, oh, I've got 7 years experience or 6 years experience, when 5 of them, I didn't do anything really. So I was like, all right, who are people that want to sell, that are pretty much open to, expireds? So when I decided to go after sellers, I decided I was going to hit up the expireds. So I put together, and I completely overkilled it, but I put together this PowerPoint presentation, documents on why to hire me and my company, what we offer, you name it, I did it. This thing was, would have been like an hour and a half long. And I talk fast, and that still would have been very lengthy. So I kind of overkilled it, but I started getting the phones ring and then getting the listings. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, so here we go. So then people started seeing my signs. And then buyers were like, oh yeah, she's selling houses, and kind of snowballed into that.
Yeah, no, I love it. So with those expireds, and I talk to so many agents that that may be doing the business. They're like, well, I want to start geo farming, or which I get, and over time, but I'm like, God, that's such a long term investment. The expireds are just that money. It's people that that want to sell, um, and they need to sell now, and it really doesn't cost you that much money to go after them. So you had the PowerPoint presentation. Now, I'm assuming that PowerPoint was once you got face to face. How did you
Yep.
get face to face? Like, how did you go after them? Were you picking up the phone? Were you dialing them? Were you door knocking? Were you sending out mailers? How did you get the appointment?
Um, I I do not knock on doors. I do not do cold calls. It's just not in my personality. I get really nervous doing that. So I don't. I did mailers. And also I should point out too, like I'm kind of particular too on like what clientele I go after. Even when I didn't have anything, I still wanted to be kind of picky, because I didn't want to be like, oh, do this song and dance, hire me, I'll get it done for you. I've got one listing, you're my only client, and you're my number one priority, and try to sell that to people about being new in the business and not having a huge inventory. Kind of, I don't have a huge inventory now, but me then is different than me now. And so I would look through and see like, okay, what do I think, like, why didn't this house sell? Is it price? Photos are huge. I'm really big on pictures. I'm completely OCD about anything that my name is on. So I'd go through and, look on the MLS, and if I'd maybe been in a house, or if I hadn't, and thought like, okay, what can I offer these people to make their house different? And I included that in my letters. I did mailings to them. I, handwritten. I didn't do labels. I didn't put my return labels that say Angie VanEman, American Way Realty, hire me, blah blah blah, in the corner. It was just handwritten. It came from me. I actually put my home address on it. And I just basically said, I looked at your house. It was on the market for 187 days. Average days in the market is this. I think, there's several things, blah, 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 that I can offer you. This is why your house can sell. Why do you think? Call me to discuss, how we can get it sold. And it kind of got the phone to ring. But I didn't send them to outside areas that I don't sell real estate in, that I don't know very well. I didn't send them to houses that I thought, were terrible. We all have those houses that are like, oh no. So I was kind of more picky on it because I wanted like the houses that I didn't hit. I didn't want to be overwhelmed with a ton of them, and there's not a whole like arsenal. I mean, we're a pretty smaller market, and so I was kind of more particular on it. But I think mine was different than what the generic online systems, that you can buy, the letter systems that I think so many people sell of how to go after expired. Mine was just more personal, tailored to them. Like I took the time to make it so, so personal, not just, hey, seller of 123 ABC Drive, I can sell your house because I do this, I do that. It was like, hey, hey, Josh, I know you tried selling your house and it didn't happen. It can be super frustrating. You were on the market X amount of days, whatever. And I made it about my clients or my future clients, wannabe clients, than myself. And I think that's kind of what kind of turned it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, so when you're sending those letters, and I think that's brilliant. I think if we look at today, it's like everything, nothing is handwritten. Like you get a handwritten envelope in the mail today, like holy crap, like you open it. Yeah, right. Even cards, like nothing's handwritten anymore. So yeah, I think that that's brilliant because it's going to get them open, number one. Um, and I love the personalization. People appreciate that, and it's what's making us stand out from all of our competition out there. When did you send them? Was it? I mean, do you pull the list every day, like you sent it day one, and then do you resend it multiple times? Was there a follow up mailers after the fact? Or is it just kind of
Yep.
pull?
I would just pull the list, and again, my little OCD, so I had like one of those accordion type filers. So I would print out the MLS sheet, do my research, type up my, notes onto, why I think I could help sell this and maybe the other person didn't. And so I would do it like the day it expired, because sometimes people it expires on a Monday, they list with another agent Wednesday. So, I always, kind of put like not intended for solicitation if you do list with somebody else. I always make sure I have that on the bottom. But I would send it like right away. And then I would wait a week and I'd send another one. And I'd send, a different personalized one. Like, I understand, like kind of me again, but, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. If you don't want to sell anymore, just email me back and let me know. I'll stop bothering you. But I'd love to help you. I really think I can. And then I would send a third one. And I got, I want to say I probably got like 4 out of 10. So pretty good return rate where people would call and I, do my hugely long listing presentation. But I always got them. I never, and I mean, it's happened now, but for a while, like I never didn't get a listing.
Yeah.
So my first one that I didn't get was like, oh my God, this is terrible. But now it's like no big deal. People buy listings all the time, and I get that. I don't take it so much offense. But so I was just getting the listings and getting them sold.
Yep. No, I love it. I love it. So, are you still doing, or do you still proactively go after expireds today, or is your kind of you built up this massive sphere? Do you get just so much with just repeat past referral clients, or is this something that you're still attacking today?
We don't have the market slowed down a little bit as far as I guess it's a better market now than it was when I was doing the expires, so they're not as many because I am really particular about them. If I see something that expires, like maybe I've shown the house or something, but I found that a lot of times I'll get the call, oh, we're going to expire in a couple of days. I know you showed our house, I already see it. I can't help but see your signs everywhere with a sold sign or so I get a lot of those too. But if I don't get the call where someone's like, hey, we're expiring, we want to list with you, if it shows up on the MLS as an expired and I'm like, that's a great house, the pictures just make it look like a bat cave, and the agent's write-up that just says great house, and that's it, I can help these people. But if it's just overpriced and they know it, or I happen to know maybe I wrote an offer on it for some people and they didn't want to budge, I just don't waste my time because I don't have enough time to waste anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, especially doing 103 units a year. I can imagine your schedule is pretty nuts. So let's talk about what you do. You talked about your sold signs being on the property, and I think one of the reasons why listings are so powerful is because we can leverage that listing. It becomes a retail storefront for us. We're marketing that home. We hopefully sell that home, get a commission on it, but we're able to really set up a retail store and that can generate a lot of other business. So, what do you do to leverage your listings? I mean, are you doing any types of open houses, or I know you talked about your sold signs to generate other business? What do you do to leverage each listing that you get to create more buyers and more sellers in those areas?
I'm big on social media. The average realtor in my market is probably 60. So we were one of the first companies to have a mobile-friendly website, to have a Facebook, to have a Twitter, advertise properties on LinkedIn. And just because, demographics, I think my mom still calls it the Facebook. So it's kind of one of those things where, so I take properties too and I leverage them so much I can online. Because, I had a listing, this lady, I think she's 83, and she's on Facebook. So it's a lot different than it was even, say, 5 years ago. But, the second I get a listing, let's say I go and list your house, I put my sign in here, I take a photo of it, I throw it, and this is when I have the signed contract, so I've gotten heat for this, but I do have it listed. She's not in the MLS. But I will throw it on my business page. And I'm the most liked, I'm using air quotes here, realtor in my market. So I have a lot of Facebook followers or fans or likers or whatever you want to call them nowadays. But so I'll go on my Facebook page and I post a picture of the house and I say, hey, just listed, or actually put coming soon. Coming soon, and then I put, okay, 123 ABC Drive. This 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage is on a half-acre lot. It's got a gourmet kitchen, tile bathrooms, heated garage, and more. It's yours for $199.9. And I post a picture. And then I list it and I put in the MLS, and then now it has an MLS number. So I go back on Facebook and I'll do, okay, just listed, 123 ABC Drive. And then I do my full write-up that I have in the MLS. And I'm very big on kind of telling a story and explaining to people, like, when you walk through kind of what you're going to see. You'll never see a listing that I have where I have a bedroom as BR or a bath as a BA. I personally hate that. So I never do it. I get it kind of lengthy at times, but I want people to know what they're looking at by the time they get to the house, because that's their first impression online, is actually their first open house, and I can go off on a tangent on that, but I won't. So anyway, so I go on Facebook and I'll do a photo album. Post all my 25 photos or more photos, RMLS, well, 25. And then I do the write-up on it. All right, I got a contract on that house, and I put the sold sign up. Take a picture, and I put the sold sign up. So this is my third time advertising that property. We haven't done any price reductions or open houses. So I'll do, okay, hey, got a sold sign. Hey, sold. 123 ABC Drive is now pending. And I just have a little tagline I use, and I say, call Angie if you want a sold sign in your front yard. And then I have my number. So then I have, that on it. Then we go to closing. So I take a picture of the house, and I write sold by Angie V. That's my website. On it with like an app on my iPhone. And then I put, congratulations to my sellers of 123 ABC Drive on the successful close of their awesome house, 4-bedroom, I don't remember what I said, 2-bath, 3-car garage, I don't. Call me if you want a sold sign in your front yard. I appreciate your business. Best of luck, on whatever you're doing. And so I take the properties and leverage them as many times as I can to advertise it, because a lot of people don't have that many listings and stuff doesn't sell it often, but I want to keep posting stuff too, like online, to keep top of mind. But I don't want to keep posting the same link. And I think she might listen to this because she follows you on Facebook. A gal in my market, really nice gal, but they have this automated thing tied into their Facebook, and it's like, I would love to show you 123 ABC Drive. And it posts all the time just this random link, and it's like, I keep seeing the same house. So I try to do it a little bit different with different, angles and different shots of the house. It is still the same house, but it looks different. It doesn't look like the same link or post that you've seen before, if that makes sense. So online is super huge for me. That's probably my number one way. I didn't really think when I started doing it that I would ever sell anything. I had done a coming soon on a property in West Mankato a couple of months ago, and another realtor who follows me saw it. She's like, when are you listing Baker Avenue? I'm like, oh, I'm literally just driving right from now. I'm like, I'm going to get it in the MLS probably in a little bit when I get back. So I'm going to grab a bite. And she's like, get me in there in 20, can you get me in there in an hour? I'm like, sure. Then I call my people, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh my God, you just left my house and there's a showing. And sure enough, these people ended up buying the property. I did get it in the MLS, and then by the time I got it in there, it was already contingent on a home inspection. But it's just kind of interesting to see that it had happened with another property too, where the agent's like, my client follows you on Facebook and just saw a house you posted. We need to get in there immediately. So it's kind of cool how that works. All of my Facebook posts transfer over to my Twitter. I'm not an active real tweeter. I don't really do it that often, and they also translate over to my LinkedIn, and I use Hootsuite for that. But Facebook is my number one kind of go-to that I do it. I also am really anal, and I run everything myself. There's a lot of companies that you can hire to do postings and stuff on your behalf. I just don't want anything coming out that's not coming from my mouth, and I think if people have ever spoken to me, they can read my post and they know that I actually did write it because it sounds like me. And then we have a real estate guide in Minnesota. It's a free circular for the area. So I always do a full page ad. I was up to 2 pages, and then at one point I had like 4 pages in there, and I thought that was just a little too much. So I scaled it down to now just 1 full page ad on that. But I do get a lot of people on that because a lot of agents themselves don't do it. Companies do, but not individual agents because it gets a little spendy, but I think it's money well spent.
In that magazine, is it the same message that you're putting out on the social media as far as coming soon, or is there other call to actions, guarantees that you offer in the magazine? Is the message always the same?
I keep the same, like, call Angie if you want to sold in your front yard is kind of my overall theme of my branding. But honestly, it goes to print 2 weeks before it's actually like printed. So putting in listings, I'll have stuff that I have new listings, I've sold listings that can't be reflected on it. So I actually got rid of my houses in it. I didn't actually get any pushback from sellers, which I thought I might, but it's really outdated information. So I just kind of, do more of a branding, like what do I offer to my clients? And I think a huge thing is people don't realize like how we get paid. So I advertise, hey, I'm free to work with as a buyer. Just stuff like that people don't know and people don't do. And I did read somewhere that it's stupid or people shouldn't spend money going after buyers. I target both buyers and sellers in my ads because I don't think other people are doing that. So I try to do stuff that other people don't do, but they always follow suit. So
Yeah, no, I love it.
you got to stay 6 months ahead of them.
You got it. And we just lost in my team. We just lost one of our buyers to that, right? So they call us and like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with. We decided to go with ABC real estate company down the street because they didn't charge a fee to write the offer. And my agent replied back to him, well, nobody charges a fee, but we take for granted that a lot of buyers, especially first time buyers, they have no idea that our
Mm-hmm.
services are free. So yeah, I love it. And and I agree. I mean, I go after buyers very, very heavily because why? Because buyers become sellers too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
now with your social media, is a lot of your buy business coming from your social media that you're doing with advertising these properties?
I don't know. I don't track it as heavily as I should. But I mean, I'll get it where I've done it so much now, and I have so many, likes and people that I don't know. Like my boyfriend is in the Army, so we were at an Army event last year, and we were sitting there, and one of his Army dudes' wife walks up, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're Angie. You're the realtor." And I'm like, "Hey." We're, had a couple cocktails. Like, I'm like, this is very strange. I'm in a dress and I don't wear dresses to work. So it's very weird. But she was like, oh my God, this is so weird because I follow you. I feel like I know you. So I'll get that where people come up and say hi to me or talk to me because they feel like they know me because they see me posting so much. Or else I get, hey, you sold my brother's house. I get a lot of referrals or people I think on social media feel like they know me. I get referrals from people I've never met because, my friend follows you on Facebook and she said, if you ever buy a house, you got to buy it from Angie.
Yep, it's awesome. It's a crazy world, It's how we're connecting. I mean, I know you and I met back in
Mm-hmm.
2011 for a day, but that was such a crazy event. We didn't really have a chance to really sit down and get to know each other. And our relationships really almost completely happened through social media, and it's just how people are connecting today. And
Mm-hmm.
I love it. As you know, I'm a huge social media buff as well. What do you do though? So you're the most liked person on your Facebook page in your market as far as agents. Like, what do you do to build that up? How do you get? Because I see so many. so many agents out there that, yeah, they might have a lot of Facebook friends, but they're all realtors. Like what do you do to go out there and build up and get community likes and people likes, actual clients, not other real estate agents?
I'll ask people to like it. I'm like, hey, if you're on Facebook, go to my business page. I'm kind of weird about friending, like personal page, friending people, just because, I don't know, I've had people like comment on, I just built a new house, or we just built a new house, and I've had people comment on like my house that I've never met, and it's kind of creepy to me. So on my personal page, you can see that. So I'm kind of more reserved on that. So I direct people like, yeah, if you're on Facebook, I'd really appreciate if you'd go and like my business, or, like my Facebook page at facebook.com/Angie VanEman. I said, give me a like, whatever. And I said, also, just so you know, like when you put your house up for sale, I'm going to do a full photo album, description, and, info about your house. If you feel comfortable, make sure you share that link with your friends, because the more people that see it, the better. I mean, I've got my network of people, but you've got yours too, and encourage your friends to share it as well, to kind of cross-contaminate, and get it out there kind of like a spider web, more so than just relying on just me. So then I'll have people share their photo albums, and then I think I get, people that will see my page or see what I do and like me that way, just because they see, oh yeah, Tammy is, splits our house with Angie, we want to follow it, so I'll get a like on that too. I didn't do it for a while, but it seemed like I was just kind of stuck at so many likes, and I'm like, good, I just wanted to break that 1,000 mark. And so I do paid, I think they're paid likes or promotions for my page, just to get more, but I only focus in the Mankato, North Mankato area. I don't want somebody from California liking my page. Mostly they can. I just don't want to pay for it.
Right.
Just like, your friends in Arizona. I think I have a couple people that, thank you because you did a shout out, people liked my page, which is great. But realistically, I don't know anyone who would be moving from Arizona to Minnesota. The reverse has happened, and I sent you guys a referral, but, so I don't really want to, so I just target it just to Mankato, just North Mankato, because that's my main target area. So I want to spend the money and concentrate on where I'm at. And then I'll post, I'll do a little boost too, like $5 for a photo album of my new listings too, just kind of get it out there.
So when you're boosting that, so you're going like targeting just hardcore within your zip code, um, whatever the demographic for your ideal client would be when you're boosting those.
Right. I just do, sorry, Diet Coke. I just do like my zip code. I don't get into all the fanciness of I keep it 18 plus, because I've sold houses to people that are 19, 20. Somebody said once that they only focus on people 27 or older. I have a lot of younger clients. So I leave it 18 to, I don't know however old you can be to be on Facebook. And I keep it, I don't do like an interest on anything like that. I just keep it, I just need you to live in my zip code,
Yep.
and then I'm going after you.
Yep. Love it. Love it. So talking about your clientele, your database, because I know you do a lot of repeat referral business, and you're really, really involved in your community. We kind of talked about your follow-up process, and I know that you do a lot of different cards and that stuff. I think one of the biggest things, well, we know it's one of the biggest things that's missed. According to NAR right now, they state that 88% of buyers and sellers love their agent. Their agent did an amazing job, world-class service. Only 11% ever do a repeat transaction, and it's not because their agent did a shittier job over time in their head. It's because they forget who their agent is, right? They forget their agent's name.
Mhm.
So I know you're bringing them into your social media world, and anybody that follows you on social media, you're not going to forget your name. You're always posting. You're doing an awesome job at that. But I know you also do a lot of different cards to your sphere and your past clients. Walk us through that, kind of maybe what you send, the messaging that you send, and kind of how you track it. Because when you're doing 100 units a year, it's like that list has to get so massive. Like how are you able to track it and do that many cards?
I do what everyone tells you not to do. I do send out daylight savings cards. Reason being is I know it's on our smartphone and everything, but if you don't know, you don't have to manually chart it anymore, you might not remember it, and then kind of throw your day off, why does it see you later? But to me, it's just another way to get in front of your clients. You're never going to get a baking recipe from me because I don't bake, nor do I care about brownies. I would come over and eat them if somebody asked me to. So I do just as many touches as I possibly can. Like I just sent out a ton of holiday cards, and I have mine made on Vistaprint. I just customize them. Have a little saying, you know, for me. I don't sign them all. I sign a piece of paper, scan it in, and then put it on as an image because I just don't have time to sign them all. But I put a little thing in. Like I try to give people like a little gift. So my gift was, and my whole thing is like, I'm so lucky to have you as a client. I hope you're just as lucky. And I'll throw in a lottery ticket because those are fun. So I just sent those out a couple of days ago, and I knew they were delivered because my phone started blowing up from people being like, hey, won $2, thank you, you know, getting text messages like, I didn't win, but it's such a cute idea, I appreciate it, you know, we love you, blah, 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 happy holidays, thanks for thinking of us. One guy won $12, you know. One gal didn't get one, so I don't know, the mailman must have something happened, I don't know. So I'm like, oh my God, I felt terrible. So I sent her a $5 one. I normally send out a $1 one. But so I do holiday cards. I do, like I said, daylight savings cards. I'll do like a Halloween little post. I do like emails too to people, just for like constant contact, and send out like a big, you know, huge. I think I sent out 1,600 Thanksgiving little things, just like little touches. And I don't like include business cards. I don't put like, hey, if you know, I'm never too busy for referrals. I don't do any of that shit. And I don't make it about like real estate. I make it about my client. You know, like, I'm lucky to have you as a client, thanks. And just sign my name. I mean, I have, you know, American Way on there. I think people know what I do when they see my name, but it's not overly like, do you know someone buy or sell? Give them my card. I'd love to, whatever. I just don't do that. I make it about people. I do random handwritten notes. I had some cards made up that said, just a little note to say, this is ... and then you open it up and it just says, hello. So I'll just say like, hey Josh, just thinking about you today. Just hope you and Amanda had a great summer, you know, the kids. Just want to say hi. Hope you're still loving your house. Have a great, you know, summer. I just say something stupid. Or if I see something on Facebook, say, hey, so-and-so, saw you just gave birth. Congratulations on, you know, baby boy, whatever his name is. Or just something like that. Or, you know, like, just handwritten letters, because I don't think anyone does those. Holiday cards, obviously everyone and their mom sends them out, so they're not as special, I don't think, but I still do them to make a present. I also send out anniversary cards, and those, you know, I hand, you know, write out to people, so I have to do like, you know, 700 at once. But I'll just say like, you know, hey Josh, can you believe it's been 3 years already? I hope you're still loving your house. If you ever need anything real estate related, give me a call. I do put that one on the anniversary because it's about the house. You know, take care. Hope everything's going well. Like, happy holidays for the people that bought, like, this, you know, October, November, December. Or, like, Happy New Year to January people. Or, you know, Happy Valentine's Day, happy, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and I love it. You know, yeah, at the end of the day, we're not in the real estate business. We're in the human connection, human resource business. I mean, we're just
People,
we're
yep.
just dealing with human beings. You know, it's like I was talking at one of my team meetings the other day, and I'm like, we don't really sell real estate. We don't own the product. We facilitate an experience of helping people accomplish their real estate goals. It's like a divorce attorney doesn't create the divorce. You know, the damage is already done, right? They just go in there and are helping the people with their goals. And at the end of the day, it's just keeping those relationships alive. And yeah, like you said, nobody does this stuff anymore. I mean, it's like it's your birthday and you get a text from your mother. You know what I mean? It's like, you
Yeah.
know, those phone calls and those cards. It's just, it goes such a long way. Okay, so then
Well,
you
and to
mentioned,
make it personalized, I think, too, to even have, like, you know, like I said, so many, like, holiday cards. Everyone sends those out. But to have them even written in where it says, like, hey, Angie and Kale, like, Merry Christmas. You know, I say Merry Christmas. I don't give a shit if people can tell me Happy Hanukkah, and I say, like, hey, thanks, Happy Hanukkah, Mazel Tov. I'm not Jewish, but I'd still reciprocate. So I go Merry Christmas. But, you know, for just people to take the time to do it and make it personalized and have, you know, my name on it versus, like, you know, in a standard, you know, whatever card sent out. And I don't know, I think handwritten notes is one of the little key secrets because no one does it anymore. Like you said, people text message all the time.
yeah,
You know, drive by your client's house and see that they did landscaping, send them a little note. So just a little note, say hello. Just say, hey, I drove by today. Your landscaping looks awesome. Hope you love the house, Angie.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's awesome. Yeah, and people I know you're heavy in social media, and people listening to this or that may just follow you on social media may just assume because of your age that you're this hardcore, new school systems, um, real estate agent. Where I mean, okay, yeah, you're into social media and some new school stuff, but it's from what I see and from our previous talks. I mean, it's the fundamentals. It's all the old school fundamentals, getting face to face and building those relationships. So in addition to those cards, like, what else do you do to? Because I know you're really involved in your community. You just like to focus in on your area. Um, what do you do to get involved with the community? As far as getting new business, but also past clients that are in the community.
I try to support anything local as I can. I mean, I shop local, all that kind of fun stuff. I sit on like the Habitat board. I'm part of the Realtors board, and we used to work with Toys for Tots. We actually just stopped this year, but I still do it on the side, but not to the organization. Doing like a REACH program, which is for homeless youth, and I don't have a ton of free time. Um, so I don't volunteer maybe as much as I can. Sometimes it's better for me to just write a check. And I
Yeah.
do that, and I'm not one of those people that I don't have a giant check and I don't publicize that I do it. I just do it because it makes me feel good.
Yep. Love it. Love it. So with your follow-up process, I know we talked about what you do with your past clients to make sure that you're staying in front of them and getting all that repeat and referral business, which really, it's so sad watching agents neglect that because at the end of the day, it's like that's our money tree, and all these agents have the money tree in their backyard, they're just not watering it. So we talked
Hmm.
about that. But what I find with speaking with top agents all over the country like you is when it comes with these leads that you get, the new leads, it seems like leads are never the problem. Where agents fail is their frequency and their follow up process that are the problem. So you get, let's say you get a new lead from your Facebook post or whatever it is. I mean, how quick are you on them? What's your follow up process? Where do you put them? I mean, what does that look like?
I have an iPhone. Everything kind of runs through my emails and whatnot. I treat emails or even like Facebook posts, other than like now when I'm obviously busy, or if I'm with clients or something. But it's always with me. It's always by me. I just keep it on silent so I don't have to hear all the dinging and all that kind of crap. But I treat them all like text messages. I get back to people immediately. If I read an email and I'm in my car driving, I don't pull over. I just do it when I'm driving. But I'll just send back something like, hey, thanks so much for the email. Like, do you want to give me a call and chat? What's the best time? Like, what are you looking for? How can I help you? Um, and so I think the quick response for people, and I'm not one that I don't hound people really. Like if I get like a lead from Zillow or Trulia for one of my listings, I obviously respond to them right away. I don't, I'll call them if their phone number's there, but if I don't hear back from them and I've tried, a couple different touches and I've, emailed a couple times, I'm not going to keep emailing them every day being like, where are you? Why don't you want to, you emailed me, let's look at houses, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of more lax on that, but I do close quite a bit of them. I'm not like 100%, I'm not at 75%, but I think I'm at like 46% or 40% or something like that with leads that came in. But I don't pay for Zillow leads or what is it called, like the zip codes or something for Trulia and stuff. I just have my own because I think a lot of those leads kind of tend to be people that are like, oh, well, I thought it was for rent. And it's
Right.
like, nope, it's not. So I don't do any of that. But I'm pretty quick with responding to people. Once I meet people, I probably have like 2 or 3 a year, people that I've gotten belly to belly with, face to face, showed houses to that don't buy something from me. It turns out everyone has like an uncle or an aunt, cousin's brother's daughter's best friend who's a realtor. So you get some of those people, but for the most part, I have a pretty good retention rate with people and getting them closed.
Yeah, and I think the key there is really just the speed to lead. I was reading the other day that your average agent, this is according to Zillow, follows up with a lead in 40 minutes, and it's like by that time they're gone. I was sitting there the other day and inquiring online for some product or whatever, right? I was doing some online chat and I reply and I'm like looking at my watch and it's only been like 60 seconds, but I'm getting impatient as hell. Like today we're such an instant gratification society. I think that's the kicker, and that's the key is just boom, be on it.
Oh, absolutely.
So you mentioned that you use the system was Constant Contact.
I just started doing that, and I don't do it for like drip emails and stuff. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Um, I personally find it annoying. And I haven't had time to sit down and write like, emails I can send to people. And some of them that come pre-written from different stuff that I do, just it doesn't sound like me. It's not. People have to know it's not coming from me. And I want people to know like I'm involved in my business. I am busy, but I don't want people to ever feel like I'm too busy for them. I try to make every one of my clients feel like they're my only clients, although they know they're not. But Constant Contact I just did because you can send out like a mass email and it can be like a big picture and stuff. So I just sent out, I'll add you to the Christmas one I'll be sending out here shortly. And it's just like a thing that says, it was like Happy Thanksgiving. I sent it out to like 1,600 people. And what I did there is I just basically, every email I've ever gotten from like Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, Market Snapshot, Prime Seller Leads, anyone who's like in my Outlook, which I have like 43,000 emails. I've got a ton of email addresses. I basically just put all of these people into Constant Contact. It goes through and gets rid of like the bunk ones that are, like no three at, don't email me.com. So it gets rid of those types of people too. But my whole thing was I'm just going to send it to everybody that's ever at one point or another sent me an email or I have their email address somehow. So it's just kind of a way to get, I think, in front of more people was my idea. And I think out of like the 16, I want to say 16, 15, maybe 1650 that I sent out for Thanksgiving, I think like 13 people unsubscribed and one person spammed me.
Yeah.
So not bad.
No,
But it's just
that's
kind of staying in front of people. But I'm not like constantly like, hey, new listing, this one's sold on open house. I just don't do that. I probably should, but I don't. Because I think that's the type of stuff that's going to get people to, unsubscribe versus just seeing like a holiday kind of gift for me. They're like, oh yeah, talking to someone, I just want to be back of mind or top of mind to people. Where if they're talking to somebody thinking about listing, I was like, oh yeah, I got an email from this lady. Yeah, she seems, whatever, really nice. Send me Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Give her a call. So that's kind of my whole idea on that. So I've only done one like send out. So I'll let you know because I got a couple coming up here.
yeah. No, I love it. And
Christmas
what I
and
love
New
about
Year's.
systems like that is okay. You have 43,000 emails. It's like boom, 2 minutes. You just touch 43,000 people, and yeah, like you said, if you do it with brand in pictures and burn and whatever it may be and bringing that personal touch and two, I mean, you're able to take them into your Facebook world and your other stuff, so they're seeing
Yeah,
all of
I have
that.
all my links on it, but I do make it about the person. I don't make it about like, I mean, I guess people have to look a little bit to know what I do, and I kind of like that versus being it all about, me. Happy Thanksgiving from, Angie American Way. I just kind of keep it, I just sign my name Angie. And then at the bottom, there's, my little signature where it says my company and my name and links to my social media stuff. But I try to make it about the person, not about me.
Awesome. So okay, so and then you mentioned that you use Hootsuite. So Hootsuite on these posts, and I love this, and I don't know why I never, I'm a little slow sometimes. I think it's brilliant, hitting every single property 4 or 5 times, different angles, different pictures. I've taken down a lot of notes here. Something that I'm gonna, as soon as we get done with the call, implement in our business too. So you hit them on Facebook, then you use Hootsuite. Hootsuite throws them automatically on Twitter and LinkedIn. So every single property you're hitting 4 different times essentially through on a Hootsuite, so it throws it on all the different social medias for you.
Yep.
Perfect, awesome, love it, love it. Okay, so let's talk about. I mean,
And that's just an app on my phone that I
yeah,
do. It literally takes me 3 minutes to do all of it.
yeah, it's killer, it's killer, and it's a free app, right?
Yeah. You can only have so many social accounts, but I don't know. I keep it to like 3. I'm Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not pinning, I'm not housing, I don't know what else. I don't do YouTube. I know I should, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I love it, love it. Okay, so 103 home sales, all by yourself, no assistant. I mean, I can't even fathom. So let's. I mean, you've got to have it pretty dialed in. People. one of the number one questions that I not questions I get, but when I do a lot of consulting, one of the top things I see is or issues people are having is time management. I always tell them time management's a myth. It doesn't exist. It's choice management, how effective you are with your time. So I mean, you've got to have some like really, really brilliant choice management. Your schedule's got to be hardcore proactive. I mean, you've got to be very, very effective with the time that you have. Kind of walk us through like what do you do to keep yourself organized, to keep your tight on your schedule, where because at this point, like you just to do what you do, you can't allow dissipation in your schedule. Like you cannot waste time. So kind of what do you do? I mean, how do you plan for it? How do you reflect on it? How does that look like?
I kind of take it kind of as it comes in, if that makes sense. Like obviously, like it's in the winter. It's I think maybe 6 degrees out today. It isn't snowing, but there's snow on the ground. Most people aren't like dying to move here in December, January. So it slows down now, which is nice because I get kind of burnt out a little bit. But kind of like June, it's crazy. So basically, I just kind of plan it. Most of the time, I've showed so many houses, sold enough houses where I know kind of time for people. I'll do about a 15-minute block because most of our houses are pretty close together. We're not traveling far. I break it down by the map, so whatever makes it most convenient. If I have showings at say 9 o'clock in Mankato, and then I've got an 11 o'clock in North Mankato, I'll start on the east side and work my way over to then I'm really close to North Mankato for my next appointment. I'll schedule them for about every 15 minutes. I kind of try to keep people on a roll too. I let people know, like, if they hate a house, we don't have to stay and still look at it. If you walk up to it and you're like, nope, not my house, I'm just going to run and drop my cart and we can go. Like, your time's valuable, my time's valuable. Let's not waste it. Most of the time I encourage them to at least come in and look at, like, the living room or something. But if people hate it, we leave. So I do about a 15-minute time block on the properties. If I'm running way over, I will, call or find somebody that can maybe fill in for me at my next appointment or let my people know. If I'm running way under, under, then I'll call and let people know, like, hey, I'm ahead of time. They went faster than before, or, running long or whatever. There are times where I'll get a pop-in at my office, which will really throw my wrench in because I do keep myself very, very scheduled. A lot of times I barely have time to, like, eat something. Some days, if somebody does a pop-in or a longer phone call or something, kind of gets pushed to the wayside. So I do keep it very, very, very tight. If, like, I have people that are like, oh, we're coming into town from Nevada. We're going to be here for the weekend. We want to look at as many houses as we need to move here for a relocation. They obviously get pushed to the tippy top. If I have other clients that are maybe just looking, I'll say, hey, can somebody else help you? Or can we do a different time? I'll actually say, can we do a different time? And then if they absolutely cannot, I'll have a colleague or somebody fill in for me and just show them some houses. But I kind of prioritize that way too, like people's motivation. Like, do they need to move? Do they not need to? Are they just kind of looking? Do they have a house to sell? Versus people that are coming into town, they're here for a weekend. I make myself available nights and weekends. I work kind of all the time. I have an awesome boyfriend who understands what I do and, allows me to do it and doesn't guilt me if I don't get home till 10:30 at night and, miss dinner or something. So this year I made it a point to kind of cut back on that because the 103 really kind of it did a little bit. It's just too much to do for just me. So my numbers aren't going to be as good this year as they were last year, but I'm totally fine with it, and it's a conscious decision. I just referred more clients out to people than I had before. To me, I was like, okay, if they're in my little bubble, if they're a referral from, my friend Kelly, then I have to take them. And I would kind of, be all over the place with it, and it's like, people get that I have to have some sort of a life and, take some time. So they're fine if they can see a house, if they've got another, awesome agent that's going to maybe fill in for me. So I kind of did that more this year where I referred more people out and let other people do it as opposed to just me running like a crazy.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Well, and it allows you to do. It's like Carnegie's quote, right? I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. So we can only
Mm-hmm.
handle so much, and as your business keeps growing, the referral strategy is is the absolute way to do it. So let's kind of talk about then. So you kind of talked about getting their motivation and deciding who you're going to work with based on their motivation. So what does that look like? Like, is that during? Do you do like a live consultation with them or an over phone consultation? What kind of questions are you asking? Are you asking, to see what their motivation is to make sure that they're not somebody that's wanting you to be a chauffeur for the next 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people I'm like, I don't know if they just like hanging out with me or what it is. And that was kind of, beginning of my career when I didn't have that many business, and I was like, okay, you want to go look at 37 houses and you're not pre-approved, you just maybe want to buy? Sure, I've got nothing else to do. Let's just go to these open houses this weekend. I'll come with you. So I just don't have that kind of time nor naive approach as I did. So I just asked people, I'm like, what's the plan? Where are you going? Like, what are we looking at? Do you own a house right now? Are you renting? What's your lease term? Like, if somebody calls me, they're like, oh, my lease is up in August. Well, it's December. The house you're going to look at now most likely will not be for sale when you want to buy. If you can get out of your lease early, great. But just keep looking online. If you see something you absolutely have to see, let me know and I'll show it to you. But let's just keep in kind of contact, and I'll send them listings too. I don't sign people up for an automatic thing. I direct them to my website where they can sign themselves up. But I kind of find that sometimes to be annoying, so I don't do it to people, but I allow them to do it to themselves if they want to. Does that make sense? But people are like, all right, like, I'm moving here for a job. I'm coming in as a new, person with the distribution center. And I'm like, all right, they have to buy something, so they're ready to go. They're hot. Let's go. If people are like, well, Quicken Loan says I can afford this, I'll be like, let's get you in with a local lender to talk to them, kind of, see what they offer. It can't hurt to go to more than one place. I always make sure people are approved, talk to the bank, they know what they're going to do. I don't have time to take people out to look at houses, just want to see them because I think it's fun.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we got to dial it in. Yeah, I love it, love it. On your listings, I mean, so do you have I know you had a pretty hardcore PowerPoint listing presentation. What does your listing presentation look like today?
Um, Hi, I'm Angie.
Okay, yep. Well,
Not really,
and
but
I
kind
mean,
of.
you're at that point.
Hey, hey, nice to meet you. Mine before was it was too much. So what I do is I just obviously go in. Most people know who I am or have an idea of who they think I am, so that's always fun too. In their head before they meet me. And so I'll go in and kind of go over market stats, like over where the market's performing, where I'm at with other people. But I also pull, most of the time, people can give me an address. I could probably give them a price without even meeting them or seeing their house. I'll never do that. I always go to the people's house, have them give me a tour, write it down. But when I'm gathering my information to set the appointments to go to their property, and I'm always asking, okay, how many bedrooms do you have, bathrooms do you have, garages, what special features, what caused you to buy the house, like what are the great qualities of it, stuff like that. So then, oh, you have a fireplace, stuff like that. So when I pull comps, it's actually like pulling stuff that's similar to their property. I won't pull like a 2-story in North Mankato if it's a, split foyer in Mankato. They're just not, with different bedrooms and stuff. I just, I tend to zoom it in on what exactly is their property. And then I just go in and I'll go to their house. I have them give me a tour. I write notes because I don't remember stuff because I have too much going on, and my blonde hair is partially real, so I forget more stuff than probably most people do. And then I'll sit down and kind of say, like, what's the game plan? Where are you going? What's your thoughts? Oh, they're retiring. They want to move down south. Okay, great. Or, we're just kind of thinking we want to move. I kind of gauge them on that too. Some people, want to sign up that day. I don't bring a contract with me. I'm really, really, really laid back. I'm not a high pressure salesperson. I'd probably say 90, 95% of the interviews I go on, I get the listings. But if people are just kind of looking for a number, I'll give them a number, kind of go over some stuff, go over what I do, ask questions. A lot of people tend to know quite a bit about me from like online or somebody that they know or whatnot. So kind of have that little touch because I've gotten like maybe the referral from somebody who did business with me because I'm to the point where I'm at my 5-year mark and I've, kind of getting the repeat business too. People do the move ups or relocating. So I kind of just do that. I always do a net sheet with people that outline the numbers. Our market currently is performing at 97%. That's not list to asking price or sales price, I guess. That doesn't include closing costs. Closing costs are huge in Mankato. So I always factor that in. I always do the numbers, do the commission. I do the state tax, the abstract filing, because a lot of people don't know the different costs other than just maybe the commission. And I think some people think if you sell for 200, you get 200, and that's not the case. So just always do that so people can see it. I'm surprised at how many people have never seen a net sheet. When I come in to be people's last realtors, they're like, no one ever ran numbers. We can't even sell our house yet. We'd like to bring $3,000 to closing. I'm like, so what was your game plan? They're like, I don't know. We never talked about it. So I always do it up front, and then I do it when I get an offer too. But I don't have the, hour and a half PowerPoint of, the county assessed value, photos of their houses and whatnot. And I do try to look up their Zillow's estimate, since people are big in that. And I do come with their assessed value, because people think the assessed value that they pay taxes on is what their house is actually worth. If it's high, if it's a low number, they think the assessor's crazy. But if it's a super high number, they're like, well, that's what it's worth. So I would kind of bring with that too, and just kind of show that it's a computer generated number. But people tend to, I think with Zillow's advertising, people tend to look that up and know it. So I think it's important for as a realtor to have it too. You don't want to be like, oh, your estimate's 180 and you want to ask 180, but your house is worth 200, or your house is worth 150. So I always try to kind of have that. And I'm over analytical, so I know every question I would ask somebody, I know the answer to, because I'm, I would ask a lot more questions than a lot of people ask me.
Yeah. Now, it's a laid back attitude that probably helps you get so much business. The perception of realtors are, we're like a used car salesman and sleazy attorney. Like, they expect us to come in there and be that hardcore, high pressure, and then you walk in there and you're just really down to earth and upfront and honest, and they probably just love and respect and appreciate it. So one thing about you is, and I know everybody on this call can hear this from you. I mean, you're out there grinding till 10 o'clock at night. I mean, you've got crazy hustle muscle. Come out of the gate and do 42 units your first year, when your average agent right now does what, like 4 or 6 units a year. And obviously that came from that grind, like nonstop grinding. You're doing this. I know you've been licensed now for a lot more than 5 years, but it's not like doing it full time for 5 years. It's I know the grind never stops. What is kind of your mindset, your personal philosophy, your work ethic? I mean, what is your philosophy on that?
My philosophy, I'm just kind of a get shit done type of person. I'm not like a talker, I'm a doer. I'm also really impatient. So if I get an offer at 2:15, I'm calling my client at 2:15. I'm meeting them at their house at 5 o'clock to get it signed, to get it reviewed, lock it down the second they get off work. I'm not like, you want to get together next Tuesday. So that's kind of true why I work the crazy times I do. I genuinely love what I do. I don't really feel like work. I wake up in the morning and I can't wait to get to the office to start working on stuff. I treat being an independent contractor as a job. I notice a lot of people don't. Like, I'm in the office every day if I have an appointment, or if I don't, by 9. Most of the time it's earlier, but 9's like the latest I'll be, unless I have an appointment, obviously. But so I'm there even if I don't have business. I'm there to see if I can pick up a phone call, like a floor call. We have our office has 25% market share, so we have the most amount of listings out there, so the most amount of signs, the most amount of probably floor calls. So I'm there kind of in case I can pick up a buyer or seller. I'm not that lucky with floor, where I think some other agents tend to be. A lot of my business doesn't come from that, but I'm just always there. I'm always doing it. If somebody wants something, I want to show them houses when they want to see it. The last thing I want to ever have happen is so-and-so wants to look at a house, and I'm like, I just don't feel like it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like, whatever. And I do need to take time for myself, but, and I do, but so somebody wants to see somebody, let's say Saturday at 11. I'm showing house Saturday at 11. I don't want to be like, you can't live this Saturday. I don't feel like it. And then now their dream house, the one they love, is the one they sent me. It's the only one they want to look at because I didn't want to show it to them, get sold with somebody else. I've never had that happen, but I would just feel terrible if it did. So, but if I have something come up, I tell people, like today, my nephew had a winter program, a Christmas party or whatever, but now it's called a winter program. I was supposed to do something, and I was like, sorry. Like, my nephew is 3. He's got a winter program. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be front row, and I'm going to have my video camera going. That's the most important thing to me. And people get that. If somebody's like, I absolutely have to see it, I'll have somebody fill in for me. But I say no when I need to, but like I said, I like what I do. I like knowing that the harder I work, the more it benefits me. Kind of like when I worked at my real job, I would if I had a project to do, I wouldn't leave at 5 if it wasn't done. When other people were like, well, whatever, I'll work on it Monday. And it's like, well, I want to make sure it's done and done right. So I'd stay late and whatever. And it's like, you're not getting paid to stay late. You're working really hard for somebody else to fill their pockets. I'd rather do my own thing, work hard, and reap the benefits myself for me and my family.
Yep. I love it. Love it. Yeah. And that's one beautiful thing about this industry. It's endless opportunities, and the harder you work, the more you get rewarded. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk to so many agents that just aren't willing to put in the work. They're like, God, I feel like this rat in the or the in the wheel, right? Just running and running and always grinding. I'm like, well, we're blessed in this industry where we're able to go out there and here in Arizona anyway, you can go do a 2-week crash course and get your license. So you can go to school for 2 weeks, and you can, if you hit the ground running and willing to put in the work, you can make more money than doctors and attorneys. And but it's like, I don't know any successful attorney or doctor that's not out there grinding 80 hours a week. It's you got to put in that
Right.
work. So no, I love it. So we're just about out of time here. Any last, a lot of we have so many different, such a large variety of listeners to this interview. I mean, we have owner brokers, we have team leaders, we have brand new agents, we have agents that, from every single level. Is there any last advice that you think these guys should hear about just getting out there, helping them crush it? It's coming up on 2015. Any last words that of encouragement to help them get out there and take it to the next level?
I would say new agents, find a mentor. Find somebody that can teach you the ropes, show you how to do things, and just kind of learn from. One of my favorite sayings, and Josh, you know this, is steal from the best and make it your own, because there's stuff I've stolen from you, buddy, and you know it. But see what other people are doing. Like, I watch a bunch of agents outside my marketplace, and what are they doing that's kind of crushing it? Okay, that's a cool idea. Now, how can I translate that into my market and my business to make me kind of stand out? So steal from the best, but make it your own. Don't blatantly plagiarize anybody or take a video and cross out their name and put yours, or something like that with a photo branding, but kind of tweak it a little bit. Do stuff that makes you happy. Work with people that you like to work with. Find kind of a niche. Like, I am 30. I just had a birthday, but I work with a gamut of people, but I like helping people that are kind of more my age. So I kind of focus a little bit on that too. I'm open with buyers and sellers. I'm not one way or the other. But if somebody's super into sellers or super into buyers, stick with what you enjoy doing. Don't spread yourself too thin. You don't have to be everything to everybody. You're going to get yourself kind of burnt out. And kick ass. Ask questions. People are so willing to help. If people have questions or God, why isn't this working? What are you doing that's different from, how are you getting people to your open house? What time frames are you doing? People, I found top agents, people that I know, I ask questions, I bounce stuff them all the time. Find somebody that maybe you can connect with that you sort of know, or look online and find, and even in these group chats, I'm in a bunch of different Facebook groups about real estate stuff that I don't post on it regularly, but I read it all. And I kind of take what they are, and then I look at people's pages of different agents and kind of see, what are they doing that makes them kind of unique and special and different. Everyone can throw a sign in the yard, but, how are you going to get your house sold? And see what other people do. And if it's something that, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. Message somebody, ask them questions hey, I saw your page, you look great. But, I get a lot of calls from people, I'm sure you did too, after the 30 under 30 thing. I still get calls, and that was, 4 years ago? People are hey, I read your thing, can you help me? And I'm very willing to share anything with anybody outside of my market. So ask questions, and don't be afraid to, try stuff and fail at it. And not be the best at everything, but just keep, try again. Don't be I only sold 3 houses in, the first 6 months of real estate. Well, it happens. Kind of don't give up so quickly. Probably a lot more than a couple things, but
No, I love it. I love it. And, we greatly, greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. I know how busy you are, and I know all the listeners, greatly honor and appreciate your time too. And I hope all you listeners out there, you've taken a lot of amazing notes. I know I've got about 3 pages here jam-packed myself that I'm going to implement and take this stuff to heart. Again, you're hearing just these gold nuggets from top producers. At the end of the day, there's no secrets in this business. It's just those that implement and those that work their butts off that get the results. So you guys go out there, keep crushing it. Hope you found this valuable. And again, Angie, we thank you so much for being on this call today.
absolutely. One more tip too: answer your phone. I get so many people like on a Saturday, they're like, "Oh my God, I wasn't expecting you to answer." Number one thing I think people complain about is realtors don't answer their phone. Business is out there. People are calling. Agents aren't calling back. So answer your phone.
Yeah, don't just hide behind computers, you guys. The phone,
No, pick it up and talk to them.
yeah, we still we're old school too, just like that. I mean, it's still grinding the phones every single night, 2 hour phone jam sessions, and last night 2 hour phone jam sessions, 3 listings set. It's just working the phones, work the phones, answer your phones, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, again, you guys take
Thank
it
you.
to, yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you. You guys take it to heart, get out there and go crush it and go dominate. Thank you for listening. Do not forget to follow me on Facebook, Joshua Smith GSD, on Twitter, @Joshua Smith GSD, Instagram, Joshua Smith GSD. Make sure to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Type in Joshua Smith, and I'm the good-looking cat at the top. If you haven't already, go to www.joshuasmithgsd.com and subscribe to our email list. You'll get these interviews sent to you via email, along with my blog, videos, updates, and all that other fun shit. As always, make sure you're taking action. Take all this golden information that you're getting delivered here and make sure you're applying it. Information without implementation is the start of delusion. So implement. Take massive levels of action. Get your hustle on. Get into GSD mode and go dominate. Peace out, guys, and see you next time.